Hello and welcome to Gyaniketan Girls School.
Hello students, I am Arti Sharan. In my last video, I discussed the definition and uses of figure of speech. So again I am repeating, a figure of speech is a specific term and it uses words or language that goes beyond its literal interpretation like simile, metaphor, hyperbole, etc. Now you should also know literary devices and poetic devices. Literary devices are linguistic or literary techniques that create a specific effect. So, a literary device is more general term which includes a figure of speech, plot mechanism and narrative style, etc. And poetic devices are those forms of literary device used within poetry. Many of them are exactly the same as those used in the prose. So, today I am going to discuss the poetic devices. In this is the second part of figure of speech. In this I am going to discuss the poetic devices based on comparison. These are simile, metaphor, irony, imagery and personification. Let's discuss simile. What is simile? Simile is an expressed comparison between two things of unlike nature. Like or as is the word to indicate simile. In the example it will be clear. You can see here, she sways like a flower in the wind of our song. So here like word is used. Wherever there is mostly like or as are used in simile and express the comparison between two things. So she sways like a flower. How she sways? She sways like a flower. Again here you can see, I am like earthly life. So, I am compared to the earthly life. So, like word is used here. Besides that, as is also used, as black as coal. So, it is black as coal. It is compared to coal. Now, the second poetic device is metaphor. Metaphor is an implied comparison between two things of unlike nature. Like and as is omitted here. Though we are doing comparison here between two things of unlike nature, but we don't use like and as in this to do comparison. Here example you can see all the worlds are stage. This world is like a stage. She is the engine of a family. She is the main person of a family. She is an angel. She is compared to an angel. Actually, she is not angel. She is like an angel. In the same way, she is a busy bee. That means she is always busy. She is a busy bee. Then there are other examples like he is a sly fox. So in all these examples, you can see that two things of unlike nature are compared. The third one is irony. In irony, you can see this, the definition, in its broadest sense is a literary device or event in which what appears on the surface to be the case differs radically from what is the actual case. Means it is different from actual case and on the surface it seems different. Appearance is different and from the actual case. In simple words, it is a difference between appearance and reality. A thing what you see is not the real thing. The reality is something different. Here example is given from chapter Gia and Pia a fine pair. That means they look the fine pair, but actually they are of the opposite character. Here you can see what a lovely weather when actually it is raining outside. So when somebody says that the weather is very lovely and it is raining outside, so it is an irony. Here we say that the weather is very lovely, whereas it is raining outside. In your poem also, this poem which you have been taught, the lost dances of cranes, here the three lines you can see that people in the new cities will watch to marvel at the wonders the world once held. Here again there is an irony. It is an irony because people in the cities watch the videos and think that they are getting the real thing. In fact, video is worse than poor substitute for the actual birds, because we are now not able to see the actual bird. We can see the videos only. Now, the fourth one is personification. Personification gives to the animals, to an inanimate objects, or to abstract ideas the characteristics of a person. So, the inanimate object is compared to a person. It is a description of non-human or its action that seems to give it human characteristics. So it gives the human characteristics to an inanimate object. Here you can see the example. I came from the haunt of coot and hern, I make a sudden sally. This example is taken from the poem The Brook. Here the brook is personified. It has been personified as a person, and that is why I is used for the brook. And the last one is imagery. Imagery is a imagery in this you can say words or phrases that appeal to any sense or any combination of senses. So imagery are those words or phrases that appeal to any sense or any combination of senses. There are three types of imagery: visual images, oral images, and images related to smell. Here, the visual images are those which we can see, like child's playing things, mother rocking the cradle, the blue of the distant sky. So all these things which we can see come under visual images. Whereas oral images which we can hear, for example, the tune of some song that the mother used to hum in childhood period, which you remember when you become adult. So this is called oral image. And images related to smell, the smell of flowers, the smell of the morning services in the temple, the scent of his mother. So whatever smell you remember of something, and afterwards and later on when you remember that same smell, that is images related to smell. So I have discussed the five poetic devices in this part. In next video I'll discuss more poetic devices like alliteration, refrain, etc. So all these devices will help you to understand the poem well. Thank you.